Put the heading Gandhiji on caste. Actually, we will debate with respect to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. How both are different in terms of what? Caste. Ambedkar, when we are talking about Ambedkar, Ambedkar belongs to upper caste or lower caste? So he faced discrimination. So, with his own experience and by observing the society, okay, he talks about till the time Hinduism is there, in one way or the other, caste discrimination will be there. That is his way of understanding the caste. Because upper caste, they are getting this status. They will not easily leave that so-called from religion, so-called karma or whatever they have a land, they have assets, resources. So they will not easily leave those positions. Human nature, basically. If something is given, it's not easy to take back that. So he says that till the time caste system, Hinduism exists, some or other form of domination will exist. He is completely against the caste. He lists out the various ways in which untouchability is being practiced. Like I told, even lower caste person should not enter during daytime because his shadow is seen as what? Polluting. He should not use common, even at tea shop. There will be separate glasses for them. Chairs will not be there. They have to sit on the floor and drink the tea. They will not be allowed to use common wells. Okay, Nashiklo movement chestadu for accessing this well, Kalaram temple, accessing public well. It's public well. Others are not allowed. If they touch also, people used to feel that that is impurity. We have this concept of what? Purity and impurity. So many forms of discrimination is there. They are beaten. Sometimes even lower caste groups are sexually exploited. Okay. So when these many forms of discrimination is there, Ambedkar talks for complete elimination of what? Caste. He talks annihilation. In fact, this is the thing written by him. Annihilation means what? Complete destruction. He talks about what? Complete destruction of caste system. Till the time this is there, some caste is there, till the time caste is there, some or other form of discrimination will continue. Right? So he goes for complete destruction. In fact, if you look at the history of Ambedkar, many organizations he has established for the benefit of whom? Backward classes or Dalits. Many federations were formed, many journals were, many newspapers were written. Then he advocated directly giving political rights, reserved seats for them. He was arguing for separate electorate. What is this separate electorate? What do you mean by separate electorate? Separate electorate means what? Those candidates will have a separate seat. Suppose Jubilee Hills is there. All Hindus, Muslims, upper caste, lower caste will be selecting one candidate. Separate electorate means constituency may be same, few constituencies. All Muslims will vote for their own candidate. Separate votes for them, separate candidates for them. All other sections will have separate candidates, same constituency. So within that we are having division. Separate electorate for SCs. All the scheduled caste will vote their own candidate. Constituency are there. Group of constituencies. They will consider this as representation for only scheduled caste. Common candidate unadu. For Hindus separate, for Muslims separate, for scheduled caste also separate. So Ambedkar argued for separate electorate. For whom? These Dalits, untouchable scheduled castes. And even after independence, through Indian constitution, he was instrumental in promoting what? Reservation, so that they will benefit. Education vastundi, status perugutundi. They will become officers. They will get political representation. They will become MPs, MLAs. Like that he talked about. And in the last stages, before that also, he was talking how to eliminate caste, how to destroy caste. He promoted inter-caste marriages. He asked to go for which marriages? Intercaste marriages. Because caste endogamy is a feature, caste will continue through marrying within the same caste. So he asked for intercaste marriages. He was not love marriages, Gadu. He's asking for what? This is 1950. He was asking for what? Intercaste marriages. Right. Then he is asking about what? Interdining. All different caste groups should sit together and they should eat each other. Restrictions unnai kada food daggara. That there is lot of commensality restrictions. You should not sit with them. You should not share food with them. He asked to break it. He asked about all India examination or an exam, if not all India, or an examination based to recruit priests. Priest in where? Temples. Even today a priest belongs to which caste? Brahmins. He said 70 years, 75 years back he is talking. He says that you keep exam for priests. Priest examination syllabus ఏ ఉంటుంది? Obviously, what are the things on religion only, on philosophy, on mythology you'll have exam. How to do this particular ritual, how to do birth ceremony, how to do death ceremony, which temple, if suppose this is Hanuman temple, what are the various rituals which has to be performed according to the tidhis. All India exam, that knowledge should be there enough for the priest. So you conduct exam and recruit priest from all castes, not just Brahmins, so that many caste groups will become what? Priests. They will follow cleanliness, they will maintain that dignity, but all caste groups can now become what? Priests. Are only Kshatriyas becoming collectors or what? Are only Kshatriyas becoming DCs or what? Or they are becoming kings or what? No. Group 2 officers are from all castes. Similarly, here priests should be from all castes. Told by whom? Ambedkar. And finally, in the last, because always he want to destroy what? His idea is to completely remove its system, caste. And finally, he talks about conversion, mass conversion into which religion? Buddhism, which is called as Neo-Buddhist movement. I told when we are writing about percentage of religious groups, Buddhists are more than who? Jains. Because of which movement in the background? Neo-Buddhist. Why did he ask for conversion? Not only for the love of Buddha. Buddhism does not have any caste. It talks about equality. Buddha long back told about anybody can attain nirvana. No need for caste. Women can attain nirvana. Before Buddhism, no heaven for who? No nirvana, no moksha for who? Women. In Sanatana Dharma. But when Buddhism came and talked about all are equal, women, lower caste, everybody can attain what? Nirvana by following certain paths. Ashtanga mark, eightfold path. Ancient history you will study. We will also study in religion briefly. Okay. So like that he told, even during the time of Buddha, many lower caste groups converted into Buddhism. They are against cattle sacrifices. Because this Brahmin will come for everything, yajna. Rains are not coming, yajna. Big yajna. Bring cattle. We will do bali for the cattle. You bring all this, we will dump in the fire. Yajna is good. It has a positive vibe. Okay, but there is limit for everything. Lakhs, thousands of cattle were given as what? Sacrifices. Who owns cattle? Lower caste. Well, that is their livelihood. Brahmin for everything he is asking. So along with that, discrimination is also there. Brahmins are discriminating, upper caste are discriminating who? Lower caste. Now Buddha comes and says, everybody can attain what? Moksha. No discrimination. Non-violence. No cattle sacrifices. No need to do any cattle sacrifices. So during Buddhism also, many lower caste groups converted en masse to what? Buddhism. From Sanatana Dharma, they converted to where? Buddhism. Ambedkar asked to do the same thing in the last phase of his life, 1954. Neo-Buddhist movement he called. Many people in Maharashtra, they converted into what? Buddhism. Okay. So this is the conception of whom? Ambedkar, with respect to what? Caste. Severe forms of discrimination. I already faced those things. Like that is his way of understanding caste. Gandhiji's conception of caste is different. Gandhiji says that caste is highly linked with one's life. It is a way of life in India, he talks. Customs, traditions, norms, many of them are linked with what? One's own caste. So you can't completely remove caste according to who? You can't remove caste according to Gandhi. What is required? You have to reform caste. You have to go for removing the negative things which are there in the caste system. He himself said, if untouchability is continued, Gandhiji's statement, if untouchability is continued, Hinduism itself will not survive. So you have to stop which practice? Untouchability. It was misused. When caste system started, they didn't have this kind of things. Within Rigveda also, within a family, there are people doing multiple occupations. Father is doing one occupation, wife is doing another occupation, son is doing another occupation. Then how you can link caste with family and occupation? It developed based on abilities and all these things, division of labor laga developed in the egalitarian. Because every activity has to be done. So like then later all these human beings are always stupid. In between they will do lot of manipulation and they will try to implement according to their. So he says that, when the same Bhagavad Gita, Gandhi used to carry that Bhagavad Gita, same Bhagavad Gita talks that in everyone there is what? God is there, soul is there. It is representation of God in every human being. In dog there is, it is a representation of God. In plant there is God. In all humans there is God. If God is everywhere, how you can say that they are untouchable or they are impure? The same religion is talking about equality with respect to all. God is part of God everywhere. Dvaita, Advaita, different philosophies talk about these things. Then how can you discriminate people with such inhuman treatment? That's the reason Gandhiji calls untouchables as what? He calls them as what? Harijans. Harijans as what? Children of God. Hari. Children of God. Harijans. So he coined the term untouchables. Untouchables, he coined the term Harijans for who? Untouchables. Okay, you have to reform this thing. I will clean toilets in Gandhi ashrams. Okay, don't discriminate people based on what? Their occupation or caste. So you have to reform caste rather than what? Eliminating caste. Obviously, Ambedkar will criticize, Gandhiji, fine, you are a great person, but you belong to which caste, my dear Gandhiji? Upper caste. You belong to upper caste, obviously you will support what? Upper caste. You don't know my problems. I faced this discrimination. I don't agree with you. I go for complete elimination of what? Caste system. Both are right in their own way. Nobody is completely wrong here. Society, complex reality ఉంటుంది. What about today? Do we have caste system or you don't have caste system? It is there. Untouchability? There. New forms. Untouchability is there in new forms of discrimination are there. Even today. Caste is existing even today because caste is still seen as a what? Way of life. In the education ayindi, so much of development happened. But even today, caste is very strong. Changing, but it is very, very strong. Most of the marriages, 90% of the marriages, even love marriages are also happening within the same caste group. Love marriages are increasing, intercaste marriages are increasing, but more than 90% of the marriages are happening within the same caste group, caste endogamy. Matrimonial websites are also on which lines? Kamma matrimony, Reddy matrimony, Brahmin matrimony. Ad bhayankaranga untadi. They stopped it, I think, later. They showed that avakaya. You like avakaya, I like avakaya. Brahmin matrimony annadu. Okay. I think now it is not coming. Many people criticized it like me. Fine. So when we are talking about these things here, so many, even today, caste is very strong. Highly educated, they will go to caste, Kartika Vana Mahotsava. Based on which lines? Caste lines. So why do caste exist even today? Modern education is there. Many changes are happening. In spite of many changes, why do caste exists in India? That is also what we have to understand. First we'll write these two. Gandhiji on caste. Mahatma Gandhi argues that, put the heading, table of the, we'll write separately. Gandhiji on caste. Mahatma Gandhi argues that caste is a way of life. Caste is a way of life. Customs, norms, traditions, marriages are all linked with, are all waiting. Wait, something happened. Same thing will happen to me when you are watching your mobile phone. Continue. What is that? Are all linked with, ఏం రాయాలా? చెప్పాం కదా ఆల్రెడీ. Are all linked with caste. Are all linked with caste. Continue. Gandhiji argues that it is difficult to completely remove caste system. It is difficult to completely remove caste system. Instead, one has to reform caste system. Remove చేయడానికి కష్టం. What has to do? One has to reform caste system. Okay. Yeah. Gandhiji was against practices like untouchability. He called untouchables as Harijans. Bracket में क्या लिखेंगे? Harijan means what? Children of God. Yeah. He warned, A-W-A-R-N-E-D. He warned that if untouchability is continued, Hinduism itself If untouchability is continued, Hinduism itself will not survive. Hinduism itself will not survive. Okay, right. B.R. Ambedkar on caste. Put the next slide heading. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on caste. Ambedkar argues for annihilation of caste. Spelling on the board. Ambedkar argues for annihilation of caste. Annihilation అంటే ఏంటి? In the bracket you write complete destruction of caste system. In the bracket you write complete destruction of caste system. ఈ ప్రాబ్లం సాల్వ్ అవుదా? నా క్లాస్లోనే అవుతుందా? ఎస్ సారా? ఓన్లీ ఇన్ మై క్లాస్. సొసైటీ విత్ మైక్. Complete destruction of caste system. He says that if caste system continues, comma, lower caste will be subjected to different forms of discrimination. Different forms of discrimination. Okay. Yeah. Therefore, Ambedkar promoted various activities for removing caste system. Promoted various activities for removing caste system. Okay. Yeah. Example, intercaste marriages. Interdining, conducting examination for recruiting priests where people belonging to any caste, can become priest. Where people belonging to any caste can become what? Priest. Next line. He was instrumental. He was instrumental in providing. He was instrumental in providing various constitutional safeguards. Various constitutional safeguards for the upliftment of depressed classes. For the upliftment of depressed classes. Finally,